postseason continues here on EA Sports. We're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are, you say that that's an advantage. You'll take the rest, you'll take the week off, get your guys healed up a little bit and ready to go. But that team that's coming in off of a win last week,
who will punch the fourth and final ticket to the conference championship round? We'll know soon enough as we are underway here on a January afternoon. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Time to see the offense for Green Bay go to work. Aaron Rodgers leading them. What a career it's been. Came into the league back in 2005 as the number 24 pick out of Cal.
and he and his team, they were the beneficiaries of a first-round bye earned by a tremendous regular season. He'd been a little bit nicked up, so he could use the rest. And I'm sure his teammates felt the exact same way. But now it'll be interesting to watch their first few drives in this one. Because sometimes getting the rest is great, but sometimes you can get a little bit of rust as well. Maybe they come out flat, and they can't afford that in the postseason.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On play action, it's Rodgers. He gets this to Davante Adams. And he makes it all the way down to the 19. A big play there. Rodgers to Adams. 42 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Rodgers now to throw. That's to Kraft, the tight end. And the Packers are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. And perhaps now close to the first points of this divisional round game as it's 1st and goal. And again, it's Rodgers. And Watson has it right side. So nothing doing there. And it'll be 2nd and goal. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal.
At the Eagles' 8-yard line.
To throw is Rodgers. This will be caught at about the 6. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal.
Brings up 3rd and goal.
Jacobs slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now Kaimi Fairbairn for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. The kick by Fairbairn is good. Every possession in the postseason magnified. And look, it's just the opening drive. They didn't get the touchdown they wanted, but at least they got on the board.
They got on the board. They've got their home crowd into it as well. And remember, in the playoffs, the game slows down a little bit, so every point is precious.
And able to get this out to the 25. Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The 2nd-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
And what a great game that was to watch last week because he put on a show in the wild card round with 5 touchdown passes. So if you ever want to see what a hot quarterback looks like, watch that tape. Let's see if that same hot quarterback shows up in this one.
That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. Throwing is Hurts. He delivers another to Goddard, complete. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and a yard. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Jeffrey wheels it in over the middle. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
First down, Philadelphia.
They'll run for the first time with Saquon Barkley. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Hurts. Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught. And Devontae going to pick up the Eagles' first down as the tackle made at the 31-yard line. From the gun, it's Hurts. It's caught. Smith. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a first down.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Hurts sets up to throw it. His throw caught right around the 6. And the Eagles are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
First and goal at the 5-yard line.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. Another try for Barkley. Busts through the tackle. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line. A big play forthcoming. Here's third and goal. Here's Hurts to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That play there was certainly a scouting report special because coverage was all too aware that this close to the end zone, he's going to become a bigger weapon for that offense, and they were there to help force the incompletion.
Butker's kick here is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. They also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Rodgers going to throw. Short throw. He's got Kraft. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And pressure coming, and they got it once again. And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. On now is the Packers punter. Back deep for Philadelphia, Devontae Smith. And he'll send this one into the cold Lambeau night. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because You know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. To throw again on second down. Hurts. And that's complete to Jeffrey. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down. 3-3, a tight one after one on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Eagles in possession. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brown. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
That is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man and broke the play up.
And they'll run the option on 3rd and short yardage. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. A give to Barkley out of the gun. Boy, shifts past him. And he'll go down at the 28. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They're going to look to throw. Touchdown, Eagles! Devontae Smith, 28 yards. And the Eagles have taken the lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown from Devontae Smith. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Another drive coming up for this Packers offense. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. In motion goes the tight end. Here's Rodgers. This is caught with a catch right side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 36 yards on the play.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. Dancing to his left. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit. We decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Caught by Cobb. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Rodgers. That is caught. Touchdown! From 8 yards out, and the Packers are an extra point away from drawing level. Extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it ends with a Packers touchdown. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 1 yard is the loss. They back up even further to a 3rd and 15. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. But he'll take this back down inside the 20. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
Following the interception, they're set up nicely here, already inside the red zone, knocking on the door, if you will. 1st and 10.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15.
2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Here's Rodgers to throw. That's complete to Cobb.
And the Packers are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way gun. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Now a give to Jacobs running right. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. Rodgers now to throw.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
And when you get into the divisional round of the playoffs, this is where having the ability to run the football is such an advantage. The defenses, they're generally going to be tougher the further you go along. So if you can get something established up front, it's going to give you a great chance to move on.
They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 12 more yards there and another first down. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. Throwing is Hurts. He finds him again, Saquon Barkley. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. In motion left comes Brown. Throwing again on 2nd down. Hurts is brought in by Jeffrey. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 18. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Back to throw again. He's got Smith here. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
2nd and 5.
Jeffrey will go in motion right.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
And Goddard's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. From 13 yards out.
And the Eagles will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. That could be an important swing right there. A touchdown in the final minute of the half to take the lead.
And I like the point you just made there. Could be an important swing because now that they have the lead, if they can carry that into the locker room at the half, they'll feel really good about what they accomplished in the first 2 quarters.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive 7 plays in length.
And the drive was all finished off on the touchdown catch by Dallas Goedert.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Packers with a football here late in this first half. With this slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half, we'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive.
Now Rodgers.
Short throw, he's got Kraft.
And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
Now a 2nd and 6.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
Throwing now is Rodgers.
He'll let this go for Adams.
And he's got it inside the 10. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. To throw is Rodgers. And it's a Packers touchdown. Tucker Kraft as the first half is winding down. And the Packers have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly, and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that gives him a 3-point lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, we'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Well, the Eagles going to get one final possession in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Yeah, he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC Divisional Round matchup. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We got an excellent first half from the former MVP, Aaron Rodgers. He came on after a slow start to fire 2 second-quarter touchdown passes and give his guys the lead at the intermission.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts ready to take over once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulting in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's second down and 8. Hurts.
This is caught. It's Brown. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 43. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
Hurts sets up to throw it. This one goes out wide for Barkley.
And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with second and a couple.
From the gun, it's Hurts.
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Packers are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was a position situation you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Davante Adams in the Packer offense heading back out. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right in a yard. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34.
At the 34-yard line.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right.
He's going to get it on the jet sweep.
Breaks the tackle, now an alley. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
Second and 10.
Rodgers going to throw. And it's complete to Adams. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 29-yard line. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
That's really good play design right there, and it's one that comes down to the offensive line. It's a deep in route, but it's only going to work if that line gives you time in the pocket to wait for the route to develop. Mission accomplished there as they pick up the first down.
Here's back-to-back catches for Davante Adams.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A big play there on the catch and run. And it's going to yield a new set of downs. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Here's Jacobs. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Good work there, holding them out on first down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Tucker Kraft, a beast in the red zone with his second touchdown of the game.
And the Packers are able to extend their lead.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
The Eagles offense back out onto the field.
But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
Here's Hurts to throw.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll make it second down. Barkley, inside handoff. And he will take this all the way down to the Packers' 28.
67 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the stream, the next 2 to 3 seconds to continue to move people.
He'll get this out to Barkley complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. A handoff to Barkley on the option.
Muscles him off. Gets past him at the 10. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. They're going to look to throw. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. The improvisation gets him only a couple, but that's all he needed. 1st down. They'll set up to throw.
And Hurts is intercepted, his 3rd of the game. And the Packers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
The Green Bay offense ready to take over. The long drive last time out for this offense, Charles, if you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
It's caught to Charles. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a 1st down as well.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
From the 38 now, here's 2nd and 6.
Counter play with Jacobs. Oh, and now some space to operate. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Muscle damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Throwing is Rodgers.
Short throw, he's got Kraft.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 47-yard line.
Now it's Rodgers. Throw left side complete. That's Cobb. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. One quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the 4th quarter. Here's Rodgers.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Sidney Brown on the coverage.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. So a big one coming here for Kaimi Fairbairn. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And the lead will hold at 10.
Charles, all things considered, I guess that's not a critical miss at this stage, is it?
No, but still everything helps when you're trying to finish off a ball game. And you're right, not critical in terms of the scoreboard and the team, But the guy with the golden foot, he knows he's only as good as his last kick.
The Eagles offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And it's been a rough night at the office for him. He's been more of a liability than an asset throughout the contest. And this offense is having a hard time overcoming his struggles to this point. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And this could be the defining moment of their season, all hyperbole aside. You're trailing here in the fourth quarter, the divisional round, and they need to come up with something as they get this drive started. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Takes this to the 45. Got a little space after that nice move. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They'll bring a receiver in motion right.
He'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. They'll run for it with Barkley. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Offside. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark
Still
off
first
the 5,
down.
and keep it moving.
Following the penalty, it's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. In motion right is Jeffrey. Looking to throw. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley taking it in from 7 yards away.
And the Eagles have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Boy, a good, strong run there. Some serious perseverance, and it pays off in 6 points.
And, Brandon, you know when it gets deep into the red zone, it often becomes a question of who wants it more. And we got our answer on that one, didn't we? The guy with the ball, he wanted it all.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter.
Eagles 24.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Packers ready to take over offensively.
And this one not officially in the bag, but it's looking more and more like you and I are going to be in these same seats next week for a game to go to the Super Bowl.
And it's contrary to our meeting with the visitors, wasn't it? Remember when we went over to their hotel before the game, and one of the themes they kept hitting us with was, let's put the pressure on the #1 seed and see if they can handle it. Let's do that. Well, they're the #1 seed for a reason. Best team all year long. They're showing it again in this game.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. To throw, it's Rodgers.
We'll swing that out wide to Jacobs.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and a couple.
At the 44-yard line.
In motion right goes Adams.
Now a play fake. Rodgers
able to find his man, Kraft. Now an injury timeout, and that is Devontae Adams, who is in some discomfort following that play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Rodgers now to throw.
Finds his receiver, Watson.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. On play action. Now Rodgers. He's got a man. It's his fullback.
Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. From the 21, here's 2nd and 5.
At the 21-yard line.
Rodgers to throw once more.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
Now Rodgers.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's going to have the Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Here's Rodgers to throw. He gets it over the middle to Cobb.
And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Throwing now is Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a pretty play there. Got in at the last second, helped force the ball free, and kept them out of the end zone.
One of the tight ends comes in motion. They'll run it with Jacobs. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I thought they were onto something with their play call and kind of went in reverse a little bit. Threw it on 1st down, then ran it on 2nd down. Not successful either way. What play call do they come up with here on this important 3rd down try?
And this is going to be incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
The kick by Fairbairn is good, and that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6.
So that gets him a little bit of breathing room, but not much. And you have to think back to the field goal that he missed earlier. This would be a 2-score game right now if he had converted then.
And if you and I are thinking about it, you know he is as well, because in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I hope I get one more shot in an important spot. He just made that one. He wants one more later to truly make up for the earlier miss.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset.
Here's 1st and 10.
They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield.
Not in a position where they absolutely have to rush right now, but they definitely have to pick up the tempo a bit.
Back to throw. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. And that'll be knocked away.
and 10.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Open man has got it, the tight end.
Playoff lives at stake. Boy, this is a big one. 3rd down.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have an Eagles first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6.
And that is caught. Touchdown. And they're an extra point away from taking the lead here in the final minute. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused because they still have some work to do?
Butker on for the PAT. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. So now Rodgers in the pack. Down 31-30. A little over 50 seconds remaining. They've got the crowd behind them, and they need only a field goal to survive and advance to these playoffs. Rodgers to throw.
Watson making the catch.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th. Back to throw, Rodgers. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
A little more than 40 seconds to play. Now 2nd and 10.
To throw is Rodgers. Being chased, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. And that is incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout. And I believe the referee's been buzzed. Yeah, they want to take another look at this call, and it's certainly a big one here late in a tight game. So the folks in New York just going to wind up confirming what the official saw as this play will stand as is.
Victory all but assured now as they take a knee here, and they're going to escape with a 1-point victory. And they'll indeed take a knee. So they file for the exits here in silence. And what a job to come in on the road, divisional round of the playoffs, and you get to end it by going down to a knee.
Now their confidence has to be at an extreme high. That's 2 weeks in a row they've gone on the road and gotten it done. They don't care where they go. From here on out, they think they can beat anyone.
And the Eagles season will continue at least one more week. Thanks for watching, and so long, everybody.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long.